Rangers of Forest Lake, the 5th-seeded team in the section, will take on your Blaine Bengals here in the 7AA quarterfinal matchup here on this lovely Thursday, February 10th evening. Folks, here's the deal. It's playoff hockey. It's the best time of the year, and we have two really good teams, two really evenly matched teams. And that's what you always find yourself in when you get into these sections. And when you take a look at the brackets and how they broke it down coming into this year, it's an interesting take because, you know, Centennial was a powerhouse. We saw Blaine beat them earlier this year. And on the other side, for Forest Lake, they've had some good wins, they've had some good losses, and they find themselves on the 5th seed. But it's a team that has had injuries all season long, and they have not been playing better than until right now. So they're at the top. Andover, an incredible Huskies team that used to be #1 in the entire state. They dropped a couple recently, but they're going to be tough to beat. Underneath them, Blaine and Forest Lake, which we have for you tonight. Underneath them, Elk River notches the 3 seed. The Tornadoes of Anoka will try to defend it, or I should say defeat them tonight as well. And then also you got Greenway versus Duluth. Guess what? Duluth always frisky. Yeah, they're the 7th seed, but you never know what could happen. And folks, let's focus on this game, and it really starts with Jenna Ray Bateman. Okay, she missed about 7-8 games in the middle of the season, so that 24 points maybe doesn't seem super high for a top-tier player. Well, guess what? That's in only about 15 or so games this season, so she's above a point-per-game player. 7 goals and 8 assists in her last 5 games. This is a team, as far as their offense is concerned, has been clicking a bunch lately, and it's in large part due to her. Another player on this team for the Forest Lake Rangers that you want to watch out for is Sammy Poole. You see, the sophomore, we have her labeled as a defender, and she was most of the season. Recently, Coach Richardson put her on the second line, and it's given this team a bunch of depth of scoring, and their defense is going to be fine. They only roll with 5 of them, so look for conditioning to maybe be a problem for the Rangers as they kind of reassert their lines, but Sammy Poole, her offense is going to be on display. Big physical player. For Blaine, you know what? It starts and stops with Shelby Sandberg. She's been unbelievable this year. The junior has really taken a step forward being an upperclassman. There you see it, 14 goals, 17 assists for Sandberg. And listen, when she scores, this team wins. When she doesn't score, they lose. And you see it right there. So Shelby Sandberg is someone that if she gets going, it gives this team some morale and it gives them a much-needed offensive boost. And someone that does that from the back line is Caitlin Ron. 10 goals for a defenseman, 14 assists. She reminds me, and this is high praise, of Emily Brown, someone who is playing right now at the University of Minnesota, having a captain letter on her jersey. Caitlin Ron is certainly someone that when you think of what does Blaine need to do to win this game, if Ron's high and tight on the back end, this Blaine Bengals team is going to be really tough to beat. What Blaine also has is a good goalie, but guess what? The Rangers do too, and we will take a look at the goalie matchups when we come back on our coverage of North Metro TV. But folks, we are so close to puck drop. Quarterfinal action, it all starts here on North Metro TV. Don't go anywhere. The Bengals look to survive and advance when we come back up next.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep
You
going.
just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Pa?
Do you remember being on Ancient Wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Well, the national anthem is concluded, the sticks have been clapped, and that only can mean one thing. We are edging closer to Puck Drop. We welcome you back into Fogarty Arena. I'm Alex Zappa alongside Blythe Whaley. And Blythe, first and foremost, this game, amongst many things, is going to come down to goaltending. And so when you look at both goaltenders, what do you see starting with Forest Lake's Danelle Decker?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge thing for them today. Over the season, not too many games have had a ton of goals. And for them, one puck could slide through, and that could be the determining factor. And, of course, you know, playoffs, do or die, they have to make sure they're keeping that clean slate if they can.
Playoffs, anything can happen. Forest Lake's a team that's played a few different goaltenders this year. Today they go with Decker. On the other side, the netminder has been dominated on the Bengals side by Haley Hansen. She's played in every single game except for one behind the net. The junior committed D1 to Mankato. Blythe, she is about as good as it gets in this state.
Yeah, it's been interesting also to see Coach Geiger just be so pumped up about his goalkeeper. And she is someone that, of course, she already committed, but throughout her career here, it's just been a highlight for the Bengals. And I think that helps. If you're her teammates, you know, you have that brick wall behind you. You feel really confident that even if it gets past you, you know, you got a strong contender back there to keep it up.
Over 1,200 minutes this season. They're hoping to get some good ones out of her tonight. And how many times have you seen a hot goaltender bring a team to the XL Energy Center for the state tournament? I would not be shocked if Blaine is a team that could find their way into the tournament by doing just that, coupled with the help of their scoring, which they certainly have picked up of late. Bengals start off, left side could have been a trip, but no hand is up, will continue on.
Yeah, and as far as state tournament runs, the Bengals only been there twice in the last, 10 years. So definitely this year, it would be pretty awesome for their program to find their way to XL.
A few years ago, they had a steady, kind of a farm almost of players. It seemed like year after year, just 40-point players. And again, the going gets tough every once in a while, but Steve Geider knows how to rally the troops. There you see him. He's been doing it for a long time, folks. And again, the tradition that this program has, his just sturdiness, his confidence as a coach, Blythe has to instill that same emotion onto his team.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. He had that opportunity to be the assistant coach for the Olympic team or the U.S. team under 18. So got him to silver, which is pretty cool.
He certainly is accustomed to coaching top-tier players, and he has some in spades this season. All right, Bengals trying to get this puck back on their side. The Rangers holding up shop here for a moment. The captain throws it down to the left side. Again, this is a very physical Forest Lake team. The Bengals gonna have to be able to finesse their way around it. Turned over, Bengals dump. Much needed line change, they'll go for it, but it's gonna be an icing. Couldn't quite get it over that back line was Cameron Singh. On the other side, you have Andy Richardson, the Rangers head coach.
And I think something for the Bengals here in these early minutes, they're gonna have to find a way to get some attack on the offensive side, alleviate their defenders not having to play defense this whole time, to have those silly mistakes early on.
Bengals having trouble getting it out of their defensive third. D to D go the Rangers. Clapham up high over Hansen. There was Aaron Brown on the clapper, turned over for the Rangers. Whistle stops play. Looks like we're gonna have a late penalty. Who's going to the sin bin? They're opening it up, and it looks like it's gonna be on Blaine, so a power play here for the Bengals. Ooh, coincidental, excuse me. And there you see Andy Richardson. We were spotlighting, I think, his uncle there earlier. Andy, you know, a young coach, you like to see those in this sport. We've had a few of them. So yeah, we got 2 players in Sinbin, 1 for each team. We're gonna play 5-on-5 here.
Yeah, and if you're a Bengal fan, very good. That is not that you're gonna have to play down a player here. You're gonna have that even game still. Just gonna have to work a little bit harder.
There's Huron go back there chasing. She handles, sauces it up to the center. With speed, Blaine goes 2-on-1. Whiff on the pass. Can the shot go? No. The net looked open. Decker sliding across, but she slipped on her way over, leaving a gateway. Back to the D, Ron can't handle.
Yeah, you've seen a couple of mishits there by the Bengals. One, that shot or that pass didn't get off the way they wanted to. Here flops over the stick, and now kind of on their heels trying to get out of their own end.
Near side boards, no one can get control yet. The Rangers do. Poole takes it. She gets dumped. Physicality showing through here early on. Spun around by Ron out in front. The Rangers with the chance. Backhand goes wide left, controlled by Blaine. Deflected, they wave off the icing. They ring it around, finding Hanowski. Hanowski pushes it forward. Blaine sends it in off of his stick. Singh chases. A lot of white jerseys thrown up into the audience. Free puck up for grabs, everybody.
I did like the idea, of course, Blaine getting it back over to the right side of the ice. And I think if they continue to look for those transitions and switching sides, I think they're going to be able to find that open shot that they're looking for.
It's, you know, you get into playoffs, and it's funny how teams, you know, they start playing a lot of defense, just in all areas. You're a little bit protected. Those goals and goals against just seem a little bit more valuable. It is why, you know, good players are great, and, you know, some average players are average, because you get to the postseason, it's all about production. It's about wins and losses. What are you going to do? Both these teams have some good history of doing both. Behind the net, Rangers take control. Out in front, Hansen in a flurry had to dump it away with a pad. Does it again. A lot of physical play out in front. This is the top line for Forest Lake. Melander had an opportunity there, thrown up into the netting.
And like typically in a game, these early minutes, you're trying to settle down maybe some of those nerves. It's playoffs. You want to make sure you're making it onto that next round. But really, it comes down to who's going to settle down and play their own game today. And I think right now, Blaine maybe is feeling some of that stress. And they're going to need to take a second to relax and push the envelope here later.
It's in... Folks, I would just say, don't be surprised if you see Blaine playing a lot of defense, because this is a really strong top six for Forest Lake. But right now, it's the offense of the Bengals that takes control in the center of their offensive third. Played around, sprayed around. Blaine comes up with it, and they'll dump it in off of, it looked like the glove member on the Rangers bench. The refs don't stop it. We'll continue on. At the blue line, chipped down in by the Rangers. They go for a much-needed change. Played back ahead by the Bengals. Singh takes control on the blue line, but loses it. Noelle Johnson corrals for the Rangers. She'll bring it up, deflected away. Good poke check there by Grace Botch, the senior. 6 points, 2 Genos on the year. She'd love to have her third today. Deflected out in front. Decker's glove couldn't hold on to it off of the shin pad on the wrister. Behind the net, Sandberg takes control. She's dangerous. Shot wide, flared out left on the deflection.
But what's good for Blaine, though, we saw some minutes, or at least some seconds, down there in the attack. And they had been not having too many of those combinations and ability to stay down there until then.
2-on-2 go the Bengals. Couldn't quite get a shot off there late. Rung around. Sandberg will chase. And Sandberg, 14 goals, 17 points, 17 assists, 31 points. And Steve Geider sent me his lines. She's the second line center. So again, leading point getter, leading that second line. And again, I think that's a direct casualty to the depth that the Rangers show. They have a top six that they have basically 20-point scores across all of it. They're breaking up Maddie Anderle, who we haven't really seen yet tonight. Haven't necessarily talked about her, but Anderle, 18 points on that top line. Also with Knowles and Anderson, they have 5 points and 4 points respectively. For the second line, talking about Blaine here, Bach with 6, Sandberg with 31, and Singh with 11. So Geider trying to balance his lines. If you see the Bengals down late, I would not be surprised if we see some switches.
Yeah, and it's a good thing to note and think about as we go down the stretch, of course, if this game even stays 0-0, that could have to happen later on.
Forest Lake, when they've played weaker opponents, have really been able to pile on the scoring. That is not going to happen tonight. This is going to be a low-scoring affair. If I had to guess, in the first 5 or so minutes of action, is showing true to that point so far. Out in front, Hansen has to slide and save. Played up ahead, back on the stick of the Rangers. Out in front again, that deflection off of the Bengals skate almost went in. It was Macy Jansen who got the last look at it.
Yeah, as good of a goaltender as you can be, those deflections can get you sometimes.
And you saw Jansen there again lose it in front of the net. Hansen gloves it. We'll have a defensive zone face-off for the Bengals.
Something I was just thinking about too, Alex, is the fact that they've only went head-to-head 3 times in the past 10 years. It's like they don't really know exactly what that other team brings into today's game. Yes, you can watch tape. Yes, you can be scouting the other teams, but to not have actually had your team play up against them in the last 10 years, you really don't know what they're up against.
It's a great point, Blythe, because these teams have not played in the last 2 years, and whenever you're facing a section foe, 9 times out of 10, you've played them once, if not twice, in a typical calendar year. So, no, these are 2 teams that are getting a fresh look at each other. How they make adjustments through the second and third is going to be extremely telling to this game.
And also to that point, the longer they can keep this game 0-0 to allow themselves to really get that feel of the game before things get started will help either team out at this point.
Up against the board, the Rangers come out with it. Some good stick handling, but better puck defense by the Bengals backline. Jansen sends it D to D. Good forecheck here, though, by the Rangers of Forest Lake. Howleg, who is the winger, and the shot from the point is gonna go. Haley Stanius. 9 minutes, 53 seconds on the scoreboard, and guess what, folks? The Rangers take an early 1-0 lead off of the defender's wrister.
Yeah, and right before that happened, I was just gonna say, just a beautiful vision to see that puck all the way over to the wide open Haley Stanson. It's awesome when your team can actually convert one of those. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of these ladies, it seems like they've been trying to get that feel for the game today, but that right there was a play that seemed like it would have been later on in this game.
And it really started with that Hallwig forecheck. And again, it's a third line for Forest Lake that has not done very much scoring whatsoever. It's really been their first 2. But it's a shutdown line, talking to Coach Richardson. And guess what? When your shutdown line is scoring, it's not a good recipe if you're an opponent. So we'll see if Bengals can find that magic sauce here as this game continues on. And it's been a defense that's looked a little shaky. Ron's missed a couple of passes her way. Jansen had a turnover, so the captains for Blaine. It's been a little bit of a rough start, but again, only down 1-0 early. I know they're going to respond. Looked like we had a tripping in the middle of the ice. We'll see who it's on.
But exactly to your credit, just how does either of these teams respond? Because I know oftentimes I've heard so many times coaches talking about what those next few minutes look like. Is your team really just going to start to dominate and score another one and put yourself up in really good position? Or if you're Blaine, you're really going to have to hunker down and try to tie this game back up as quickly as you can to shut this down.
No better way to do it than an offensive zone face-up. That shot from the point from Jansen almost squeaked through. Ron sends it back in. Glumak, patience. Great pass, which leads the Rangers out. Played up ahead, deflected from Sandberg. Again, Sandberg's got a lot of speed. Coach Geider hopes that shot can have, really just find the back of the net. You said her really powerful shot. Sometimes she doesn't quite know where it's going, but guess what? She's known where it's going quite a few times this year, and I think we're going to see it tonight as well. Singh stops in the middle of the ice, played out for the Rangers, who take control, thrown in backhand. Noelle Johnson will give chase. Bengals take control. Knowles, the freshman, brings it up ice. Anderly with her as well. Knowles shot deflected, still out in front, played out. Squeaks by the defense, they'll ring it back around.
And as long as the Bengals have kept it even in that side of the ice, they're just allowing Haley Hansen to take a breath, get ready for this next one.
And on that goal, Haley Hansen, she had a lot of traffic in front of the net. I don't know if she even saw that puck in the first place to begin with. The Bengals get it out. And a shove down two. Oh, and a big hit on the blue line. That it should have been an interference. I'm shocked and good. We'll have a stoppage. That was a big hit. I mean, that was a Scott Stevens type of hit, frankly, along the blue line. Can't quite make out the number. I believe it's Macy Jansen. I see a 4. Thought I saw 2 as well, Macy. Where's the 24 jersey? She's also got a C along her chest. 7:29 left here in the second period.
I'm always glad to see those ladies skate off on their own will after something like that.
Macy Jansen, the defender, 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points this year. And, you know, she kind of fell into her. You know, I'm not going to put that all on the Rangers, but definitely a little bit of gamesmanship there potentially. But we play on everyone's okay. That's good news, at least as we know from up here. Sandberg showing that speed, plays it along the right side, works her way back in. Played out in front, no one there to answer. Bengals still have it. Puck battle. Rangers find some space. Lead ahead pass too strong. Dean will chase and gather, loses it. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. The Blaine defense has just not been able to hang on to pucks so far in this game. A little too many turnovers, some sloppy play we're seeing from these Blaine Bengals, but all it takes is a Sandberg turnover. Puck toe drag, open net, and it's a goal! Shelby Sandberg, why not? Big players producing big times because they got a big opportunity, and you saw it right there. This game's knotted up at 1, Blythe.
And Alex, we talked about how crucial those next few minutes were going to be after that first goal. The Bengals respond. They show that they're ready to play tonight. But something I was just about to say before Sandberg scored this one was just how awesome she's done even this season on assists. 17 assists. But of course, why not just take the rep when you have it?
And you saw it there, a beautiful move, absolutely. Wow. Haley Stanier, she has a goal. She also might be on the not top 10 plays here tonight. That's about as pretty as it gets here in high school hockey. Sandberg, again, you lead the team in points. Guess what you need to do? You need to put some points on the board in the section quarterfinal, and she does just that. We showed you the graphic earlier. The Bengals 8-2 when she scores the goal. That's a pretty good record. This game knotted up at 1 here as we enter the twilight zone of this first period, almost under 6 minutes.
Because you think about after a goal, your team needs to respond, but also after that hard hit on her teammate, you also need to respond. It kind of takes players out of it sometimes. You have those few seconds to really just sit, relax.
It's absolutely a momentum shifter. You're 100% right. You get so much confidence when you're, you know, it's that next goal. Are we going to be down 0-2 or 1-1? 1-1 obviously looks a lot better. Physicality again being shown here. The puck comes into the corner. Rangers come out with it. Look for an opposite side pass. They do. Shot in front. Guess who's going to glove that? Haley Hansen, the junior with a C.
Yeah, yes, one went in on her early, but you just know how dynamite she is back there that, yes, there's going to be a lot of pucks coming her way that she's going to stop tonight.
And sometimes it takes one to sharpen your focus, as weird as that sounds. You know, again, this is the high school. You know, they're going to school, they're doing homework, and then all of a sudden you got to play a hockey game. Sometimes it takes a little bit of adversity to narrow in that focus, to sharpen that drive. Hansen has been sharp since letting in that first one. Not a lot of shots really in this game so far. Blaine has 2, Forest Lake has 6. It's been a mainly defensive heavy game so far against something we thought would happen, has shown through. And another opportunity. Sandberg, her speed, goes back to that move, looks for the 5-hole, but it was closed by Decker.
Yeah, that's exactly who Blaine wanted to have the puck right there in front of net in that position. It doesn't go in this time, but still that momentum with the Bengals.
Right side whistle will stop play.
I think everyone was just ready for it, though. Just from seeing that last hit from her, so good, phenomenal, and then, gosh, almost an identical placement of where she was to take it, at least.
Well, she's working hard there. I mean, she's tired, as you should be. I mean, maybe we got Dan Wasserman on over cameras. We were out on Lake Josephine last weekend, and I could barely skate for 2 minutes without needing a line change. So, it goes without saying the condition and the skill that it takes to play this sport at a varsity level. Unbelievable. Oh, and that's probably going to be an interference. I think Brady, first name Isabel, I don't think she's going to, get away with that one. That was pretty apparent. But, if she gets past you, it's a 2-on-1. In hockey, there are things as good penalties. In basketball, there's good fouls. That might be one of them. Let's take another look. Yeah, it's just a dump and change and a takedown, Blythe.
Yep, exactly. And like you said, possibly let her team regroup, reset, get ready.
The freshman goes away for 2 minutes. Let's see what the Rangers can do here with the player advantage. Slow but steady. They're not in any rush here. They go D to D, opposite side. Wrist shot up high, deflected. Out in front, sprawling save by Hansen. A bunch of traffic there yet again. Shot up high isn't going to go, played out.
Yeah, these next minute, 20 seconds are going to be tough for the Bengals. Now playing that player down, and you just saw how much force that the Rangers are ready to have in that attack.
When you saw it there, Sammy Poole had those last 2 shots, and she just has a puck presence that is hard to find, frankly. And that pass out in front of the center ice, not a good idea, but the Blaine Bengals are going to get away with it there.
And as you talked about that goal sharpening possibly Haley Hansen, I think it's kind of a similar situation here. The Bengals playing that player down, and they're really having to be on their A game to try to keep this puck out of their own net.
The Rangers rush in with 45 seconds left on the advantage. Played out in front. They find someone. Back to the D. They go to Stanius. She has one already from the blue line today. If that lefty wrister magical yet again, they'll maybe find out. Pochek misses for Blaine. Back to Stanius. Shot left side, out in front. And there was a wide open net. If Hayek could have gotten to that puck, she would have absolutely had a goal-scoring opportunity. Play stops, whistle blows. I'm not sure what this will be.
Something I think is interesting, too, we saw how long the Rangers took to really set that up, try to get a shot. They wasted a lot of clock, and lucky for them, they're going to have some more time to have players up, but if they didn't, that would have been a lot of time wasted, possibly, for that power play.
And it's going to be another Blaine Bengals penalty. I believe Kay Willie went to the box as well. So it might have been Kendall Dean, actually. It's either 8 or... Yeah, it looks like Kendall Dean. So the defenseman's going to be in the sin bin as well. 10 seconds left on the 5-on-3. And then Blaine will get Brady back. Up front, Stanius, shot high, and she's looking for that high shot. Again, the one thing Hansen maybe doesn't have is height. She's got about everything else. So it's interesting noted, was that on Andy Richardson's scouting report? Shoot high on Hansen.
Yeah, and if it wasn't, I'm sure he would put it there now, just seeing what's been working.
100%. Okay, Blaine gets Brady back on the ice. Minute 15 left on the other penalty. Turnover by Knowles. Big spot here for the freshman, centering the #1 line here tonight. On the PK as well right now. Puck's just levitating in the center of the ice, waiting for someone to take control, and Blaine will. Good sauce pass by the defense. Macy Jansen picking up the pieces there. Rangers with speed, and almost a trip, but not quite. Left side. Good finesse pass back. Out in front, wide open lane. Blaine gets control, and they'll clear once again with 35 seconds left.
Yeah, and that was a close one. Puck just right there, hanging out in front of Hansen again. But luckily, her defense able to help her.
That's a big hit, and another interference. That's a second interference call we've had, and you just don't see those very often. The girls are pretty good at playing by the rules, but again, we kind of teased physicality, and it's absolutely been present here in the first. I don't want to see the third period yet.
But I think what's interesting too is these ladies, they're bringing that next level because it's the playoffs. They know they want to make sure they get to that next game, and it's bringing out some fire in a lot of these players early on.
Aaron Brown's going to go to the penalty box. Boarding, interference, you could call it either one of them. Regardless, it's going to be 2 minutes. So 25 seconds here still left on the Dean penalty, and then it's going to be a power play that will trickle into the second period. 1:20 in-house here on the game clock. That penalty still has a fresh 2 minutes on it. Rung around by the Rangers. Again, 4-on-4 here for about another 15 seconds.
And I'm just thinking how huge that was for the Bengals, really, to have that call made, because they were having a tough time playing a player down.
Forest Lake, a chance deflected. Good skate there by the Bengals. Played up ahead. Sandberg with speed, gets bumped off of it. Again, physicality. Generate Bateman. First time we've really heard her name in this game, and arguably is maybe the best offensive force that we have on the sheet tonight. 14 goals, 10 assists. But she did miss a handful of games this year. So again, a player that, as far as her stats are concerned, maybe don't do her justice when you look at them straight on. On the right side, it looked like we could have had a tripping call. We won't see it be called. 25 seconds left here in the period. A minute and change on the advantage here for the Blaine Bengals. Forest Lake doing a good job of just keeping it along the boards, wasting time. 10 seconds in period number 1. Maybe have opportunity for one shot that's going to slide across Decker, and with a 3-2-1 and a buzzer, that will do it for period number 1. Well, Forest Lake and the Rangers got on the board first via Haley Stanius, but Blaine responded 3 minutes later with Shelby Sandberg. 1-1 after period number 1. We'll have some highlights for you after the break. It's quarterfinal hockey here on North Metro TV.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel.
Kids use music as a way to provide language for their emotions.
Talking about my feelings with my mother, I'm gonna just be quiet. In the back of my head, I'm like, man, this ain't it.
I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
The B of Blaine brings us back in here after period number 1. Sandberg knotted up at 1 apiece. First it was Haley Stanius, and guess what, folks? We got some highlights. Here are the highlights. First period. Blythe, what'd you see?
Yeah, look at this. Haley Hansen really unable to do anything. Like you talked about interference in front of the net.
And then here, Shelby Sandberg responds. Ooh, the toe drag so good. And you mentioned the crowd noise.
Yeah,
it's
wild.
They wanted that goal so bad. Let's take another look. What do you see, Blythe?
Yeah, just getting ready again. Looks so identical to that one we just saw moments ago, but that time, of course, unable to get it into the back of the net, keeping us tied at 1.
That was the second shot by Sandberg. You saw it, same move, a little bit different result, but guess what? The first one worked. Here in the quarterfinals, Rangers won, Bengals won. After this break, puck drop for period number 2. Don't go anywhere here on North Metro TV.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
The second period moments away here on North Metro TV as the Bengals of Blaine take on the ice. And Blythe, we saw Forest Lake really dominate play early. They got the first goal of the season from Haley Stanius, who you see right there. But Blaine really responded. What do they need to do to bring that momentum here into the second period?
Yeah, I think for the Bengals coming into the second period, the fact that they ended that still 1-1, I think is a huge win for them. Having those penalties and having to play a player down, that was tough for them. And so coming out of that unscathed, still at that even game, they have momentum really coming into this to try to go ahead.
And right now it's Blaine who has an advantage, but it's the Rangers who almost had an opportunity, but now they got about a 4-on-2 coming up here. The speed as Sandberg takes it out wide, played back. Ron walks one defender, goes high, but just a little bit too high.
But I think that's what the Bengals need to do. They need to take shots. Of course, the Rangers up 8-4 in shots on goal.
Ron played it to the center. Sandberg on the deflection, couldn't get it to hit net. The Rangers back to full strength. Point. Opposite side in front of the net. Singh has it. Puck still up for grabs. And that's a hand pass by Forest Lake. That should be 2 minutes. It was about as blatant of a hand pass as you will ever see. But again, refs aren't perfect. Neither am I. Shelby Sandberg could be, misses it wide left.
But I think she's found her groove. Of course, when you get one in the back of the net, it builds your own personal confidence, and I think she's ready to find another.
Sandberg is 100% in this game. She's had a bevy of opportunities, and we are barely into the second period. Hansen poked one away there a little bit while ago. Played up ahead. Second line taking on the ice here for the Bengals. Shot up high and good. Grayson Knowles, the freshman, puts the Bengals up 2-1 early here in period number 2.
And how awesome. The Bengals, you could tell that they came out with that energy here in the second period. They were ready to find that go-ahead goal. And always nice to see it when that energy pays off.
Let's take another look. Blythe Knowles finds some space, and guess why the freshman's on the first line? Because she can do that. Nothing really Decker could do. An exceptional shot gets past her, and the Bengals score 2 in a row to crawl in front.
Yeah, with it just being her 4th goal on the season, it's got to feel great to come at just the right time here in the playoffs.
Well, and again, that's usually where Shelby Sandberg is alongside Anderle on that first line. So, you know, you bump up the freshman. You just talked about her 4th goal of the season. I mean, could you get it at a more important time? Potentially a game-winning goal here early on. All right, Brady, some speed. We saw her take a penalty earlier, but now she's making plays and almost scooped it up into the twine for goal number 3 on the night. That was inches away from being good.
I'd almost say the Bengals really came out almost a different team here in the second period, a lot more aggressive on the attack and the offense, and I think that's going to do wonders for them down the stretch.
Their speed is really showing through here early in period number 2. Decker's going to have to gobble that one up. Forest Lake is going to go for a complete change. Those players were on the ice for a long time, and there you see a little bit of a brush up as well. You saw Forest Lake going off the ice, and it was kind of a stare down. 2 players not really moving out of each other's way, so guess what? We're just going to have a nice little collision. And you saw the ref kind of check in like, you good? And she's like, oh, I'm good. Like, we're just getting started. From the point, shot deflected and good! Hands up in the air like you don't care. Nowicki puts it in. Could have been deflected, but nonetheless, 3-1. The Bengals have 3 unanswered, and they are taking control of this quarterfinal matchup in the second.
We talked earlier about how important those next minutes or seconds after that goal is scored, and you see that happen. Bengals head on attack, foot with their foot on the gas all the way, and Bengals, another one. This is going to help them so much. Up 2 goals now. They have themselves some ability to relax, but also continue on this pressure and energy that they've had in the second period.
So, Brooke Nowicki, fun fact, Steve Geider, I mean, how good is he? Has Clemson commit, but for rowing. I don't know how, but I absolutely love it. Her 3rd point of the season, her 2nd goal of the season. Steve Geider pushing all the right buttons here, putting them up ahead.
And of course, they're mentioning Sandberg with the assists. And I talked earlier, 17 assists coming into this game, now adding an 18th.
Nowicki throws it on net, and it finds its way into it. The Rangers looking to respond here. And they have the offense to do it. They have a really strong top 6. So, and frankly, again, they had a really strong first period. Blaine just kind of held on, and they got that goal. They have stormed ahead here in period number 2. They have absolutely taken control of this game. But there's a reason this is the 4-5 matchup. 2 evenly matched teams and a Forest Lake team that has been really dominant as far as scoring is concerned of late. We'll see if that potential scoring can come to fruition here as we go along. Sandberg threw it back to the defense. They'll chase. Good forecheck here by the Rangers, but played out first by the Bengals. And almost a get-out-of-jail-free card. Maddie Anderlee was almost about to have herself a really nice one-on-one with Decker.
Yeah, she was ready for it. I'm sure very bummed that that happened. But I think something for the Bengals that they can also think about here is they've given themselves some wiggle room to be able to attack. They don't want, of course, anything, but really hone in on not having these penalties happen because they saw how tough it was to defend.
Off the face-off, a shot almost was on goal. Forest Lake was celebrating like they had scored a goal. I thought they might have too. I was looking down at my notes. I got really scared all of a sudden. But we'll play along the boards and we move along as we inch inside 13 minutes here in period number 2. It has been a whirlwind of a start for the Bengals. Knowles, Nowicki joining Sandberg as the goal scorers here so far for Blaine. Stanius for the Rangers started it off, but again, it's been 3 straight. 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Shot, and it's good. The response almost immediate from Forest Lake. And why not go to your fan section for the celebration? Ellie Hanowski scores. Another third-line scoring player for Forest Lake. They are finding offense every which way.
I think at that point in the game, it's starting to become closer to that feeling of do and die. They really had to step it up to make sure they stayed in this game. So kudos, Forest Lake, putting in that goal to now just put them 1 down. Obviously a deficit they could overcome if they really hunker down.
Well, again, Ellie Hanowski, she has 7 goals this year, 0 assists, and really is the player that, as far as offense is concerned on the third line for Forest Lake, makes things happen. You saw it there, the right shot, powerful. She's happy, she's celebrating. Why not? You know what they say, worst lead in hockey, 2-goal lead. Well, I don't know if one's much better. That's where Blaine finds themselves now.
And as I touched on just moments ago, too, just about those penalties, Blaine gonna have to make sure they're not having any of those,
Here's a 3-on-2. Blaine with speed back to the center. Couldn't quite connect on the stick of really that left wing center combination strong here for Blaine so far in this game, but in that instance, could not connect. We're gonna see something in the corner. Is this gonna be coincidentals again? We saw coincidentals early in the first, and I think it's what we're gonna see here midway through the second. And yes, looks like Ron's gonna go, as well as Melander. So Hannah Melander, that first line center, 22 points on the year. She'll go to the box, as well as Ron. So two really good players, and let's take a look here. Just amazing camera work just all over that play. It's like we got the Ron Spotlight camera here tonight on North Metro TV. But yeah, a little too many extracurricular activities there, Blythe. You just can't do that. No shoving after the initial hit.
What works out for Blaine, though, is on this, that both their team and the other team are down a player, so this still even game.
Dumped into the corner for the Rangers across the red line. It will not be an icing. Played it off the boards, trying to play it up to Knowles, who already has a tally. She couldn't quite get onto it. Forest Lake, the other side, fan section roaring. Haley Hansen saving.
She's gonna have to have a few more of those this game to keep the Bengals up, but for her, again, she's gonna have to continue to start building that confidence, and she has allowed a couple in the net, which isn't typical for her, so trying to have some of these saves to keep her in it.
No, you're right. I would say that first save was, that first goal, I should say, for Forest Lake. It was a high shot. I just think Hansen said that's over me. It gets to, frankly, on the replay, you could have called a high stick potentially, too. It drops down, gets underneath her. That one, too, a wrist shot. You know, again, a good shot's going to get by any goaltender. We saw one right there. So 3-2, Bengals up ahead. Momentum has been every which way this second period. And we'll have a face-off here in Haley Hansen's zone. Knotted up, getting back to the defense. Shot played up ahead. Looked like it hit a couple bodies on its way there. Nowicki, physical along the boards, gets it out up to Singh. Singh up ahead. It was Bach who was looking for it back. Nowicki. Again, a lot of checks, and you just aren't supposed to really see that necessarily, but it's these are two teams that it feels like they have a history, and we know that they don't, but it's two teams that are getting very well acquainted with each other very soon. Sandberg taking the face off here. A great win. Dean backside, kick saved by the defender, not even the goaltender. Decker didn't get to her. Right side, Rangers with numbers. Toe drag, good fancy move, played up ahead. Hansen wanted to save it, but couldn't quite reach it. I missed the call by the referee, but they're gonna bring the puck all the way over to the other side of the ice. Again, no penalty. We do have the coincidentals that are still under wraps here in the box. So a chance here for the Bengals. If they win it, they do. Shot from the point, grounds out to Decker. Still out in front, still on a Bengals stick. Played back around. Pass tried to get center, ends up in the air. Back behind the net, out front, Dean wrister into the chest of the Rangers defense, and now they got an odd man rush. 2-on-1. Brady, the lone defender. Hansen saving yet again. And there you see Brady pick her up.
Great job being in position, ready for that. Definitely looked like the Bengals were going to be on their heels trying to get back, but knowing they have Hansen in net, they still have confidence in her, and she proves it again.
This isn't Hansen's first rodeo, and it won't be her last. The junior still has another year of eligibility, but she's been really the varsity goaltender since her 8th grade year. Wasn't even in high school, okay, when she started doing this thing. So experience is certainly not lacking for Hansen, and that is going to play a huge role in this game as we move through it. Nowicki throws it in. Singh chasing from the left side. The defense grabs it from the right. Rangers take control. Played up ahead by Minetti. Now McKinnon. McKinnon backhand shot saved by Hansen on the pad. A little stop and go from Sammy Poole, the second line for the Rangers, taking this offensive opportunity. Played back to the defense, D to D. They'll do it once again. Oh, and Singh almost had a one-on-one with Decker, but the puck just kind of dribbled over her stick.
I think sometimes those surprise the player too, and all of a sudden the puck is just right there. I could just take this right now.
Yeah, sometimes it's almost too good to be true, for sure. Oh, left side chance, couldn't quite go. I'm doing a Tony Romo now all of a sudden. Rangers up high, deflected. Played up ahead. Now it's a 2-on-1 again for the Blaine Bengals if the defense can't get back. Singh walks one back up ahead and scoring another goal. The Blaine Bengals are coming alive. Cameron Singh, why not?
Yeah, and you can hear her fans doing their type of singing and cheering, of course, her on, because what a goal for the Bengals. Put them up again by 2, and is continuing to keep that buffer from the Rangers.
And it starts here with the senior Bach, an incredible chance. And again, something that they teach you, and I know this to be true, when you're going on the left side, it's a 2-on-1, throw it low, because if it doesn't go, it's gonna get a deflection. On the right side, guess who's there? Cameron Singh. She scored a big goal for Centennial when they upset at that time, the number 5 team in the state. Blaine, with that one, takes a 2-goal lead. Singh with 2 points this evening as well. An incredible game for her so far. The junior, her 8th of the season, bringing her point total up to 13.
But we've seen what can happen here moments after a Bengal goal, making sure they need to hone in.
2-on-1. Rangers up high, not going to go off the deflection. Good stick by Brady. Hansen out in front, saves it, played to the defense. Still up ahead, the Bengals take it past the blue line. 3-on-1 in favor of the Rangers. They take control for a moment, played back ahead. Sandberg looked for it, but dumped in instead to Decker. Singh covers the left side. Sandberg trying to stay right side. Bach comes up ahead. Sandberg's speed there to stop the puck, but lost sight of it. And a tired Rangers line will go for a change. Under 8 minutes, about 7.5 here left in period number 2. A lot of scoring. This was a 1-1 game coming into period number 1. My Minnesota math tells me what? 3 + 1, 4 goals here in the second period. Fun one for sure. There you see Sandberg for a moment. Opposite side, Rangers. Stick on the knees. It's that point. There's Coach Richardson. What's he going to dial up the rest of this game? He's a little antsy. You know, he was a little short with me before this game, Blythe. He didn't really want to give the announcer a lot of information. I'm sure he's a nice guy, not before game. That's okay, fair enough.
It's like, this is playoffs. I can't give you any insight.
Didn't want to. It was very nondescript. And that's, you kind of realize that. The coach is either very excited to talk to you, or they're very much like, dude, I wish you were not here. Nonetheless, it's been a fantastic game so far. Steve Guider's team ahead right now, 4-2. 3 goals, as I mentioned moments ago, here by the Bengals. And they're looking for a 4th in this period. They got some speed right side. It's been the defense's inability to really keep the forwards in front of them. For the Bengals, their speed really a problem for this Forest Lake backline that is again weak, and Sammy Poole was one of the better defenders in the state. They moved her up to forward, and which again has helped the team scoring, and you see Poole there in the center of your screen. She might get the puck in a moment. But it left them a little bit damaged, and that is absolutely showing true. And again, This is not a Bengals team this year that has really lit the lamp. This has been a team that's won with goaltending and defense, but they are doing it here in the quarterfinals.
Taking a look at just those 3 games that they went head-to-head over the years. And it's almost always been just a 1-goal differential. Blaine, the only time they won, it was 5-0, but otherwise Forest Lake won 3-2 and 3-1. So close games for those other 2.
Played back down ahead. That will be an icing. There you see Steve Geider. And I just kind of mentioned it, but I want to go back to it. The Bengals this year, they played 25 games, okay? 15 of them, they scored 2 or less goals. In those games, they were 4, 8, and 3. So not great. Not a great record. When they score more than that, obviously, it's a really good record. And that's where they find themselves right now. But again, Blaine, this is a team that they scored only 6 goals once this year, 5 goals twice, a couple of 4s, and again, mostly 3s and 2s. Forest Lake, they put up 5+ goals in 5 games this year. So this is a team that they have been absolutely hammering opponents on the offensive end, and especially of late. We talked about the scoring for a lot of these forwards in their past 5 games. And again, a player we really haven't heard from is Jenna Bateman, who has 8 points in the last 4 games, and we haven't heard her name really once in this game. We have not seen her have an impact, and that is a credit, to me, to the Blaine defense.
Definitely, and I think for her too, though, that's something that still could be foreshadowing what's to come in this game. If she's had such an impact in all these others, what does that mean for her to kind of be hanging in the shadows and strike later on tonight?
Blaine has 10 games this year where they score 3 or more goals. They are 7-3 in those games. Bengals take control for a moment along the boards. Who's going to come out with it? The Ranges. A little bit of walking, a little bit of talking there from Ron. Played up ahead. Thrown to the side by the Rangers. Sandberg's speed showing through yet again on the forecheck.
And I think with the amount of shots on goal, there's possibly one here.
2-on-1, Hansen down on the ground. Fluttering, wide open net, but missing wide right. Erin Brown had 80% of the goal left to her own devices. She couldn't hit it. Oh my goodness.
I think you heard the collective Blaine fans gasping as they saw that open net and a Ranger skating towards it.
It is really this beautiful mix. We are kind of hugging the left side of the stand, so we're in front of some Blaine fans, but Forest Lake is to our right, and it's this ooh-ah kind of catechism between the two. And it is a packed house, standing room only here in Fogarty Arena. These fans have absolutely shown out for, again, a quarterfinal game. This isn't the semis, this isn't the final, this is a quarterfinal game, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a seat in this place. The passion that these fans have for both teams absolutely showing through, and again, you can hear it, you can smell it, you can maybe even taste it. I don't know. Go to the concession stand. 4 2s are scored with under 4 minutes left. The shots have also picked up in this period too.
Yeah, I was going to mention those shots on goal. Just, of course, you talked about the Rangers having a lot of goals throughout the season, and when you think about it, it shows in their shots on goal. They're getting those shots tonight. They're not going in, but at least for them, they're getting those same opportunities, and they'll see if that continues throughout the stretch.
It's something really small, but a great shot by our team director Ken and Kip in the truck. You saw a tight shot there of Decker, who was all smiles, almost laughing. And I know me personally, if I was down 4-2 and I'm the goalie, I am a nervous wreck. I have a bunch of anxiety, but I think it goes her confidence to be able to be in control of herself that much, to feel that way. Oof, that's unnerving almost. That would almost make me kind of shake in my boots a little bit if I'm a Blaine Bengal.
And I think it depends, too. Some players play so differently. They need to be that relaxed to play well. And other players, they know they can't be in that, otherwise they're not going to play well at all if they're mentally not there.
It's a great point. Here's Sandberg, 2-on-1. Is she going to take it herself? Yes, forehand, backhand, ran out of room. And that's their third, I want to say, kind of breakaway opportunity. Her speed is so fun to watch because she just gets shot out of a cannon a couple times a period, and it is so fun.
Yeah, great analogy. Definitely just seems like that spark that everyone's behind her as they see her charging towards the net.
Well, I was talking to Gabby Hughes the other day, and it almost kind of reminds me of the late, great Centennial player where just all of a sudden she's going and no one's even, like, they're all the same age. It's just like, are they playing the same sport? I mean, it's that kind of speed where it's just otherworldly what she can do on those blades.
Yeah, true. I mean, you draw those connections too. You sometimes felt that way with Harper on the soccer field.
Yes.
And just like, what? She just got by everyone.
Very true. Behind the net, Blaine just playing some defense, throwing it out there. Stanius, first line defender, got her first goal of the season early in this one. Open shot, big clapper from Caitlin Ron, doesn't find the net.
But again, that's what the Bengals have to do and continue to do throughout this game to keep themselves up 4-2.
Under 2 minutes in period number 2. The Rangers have 2. Bengals doubling them up with 4. 3 in this period. Ron plays it in. Stanius chasing. Sandberg there with it. Box shot. Wide left.
But we touched on it early in this second period. It just seems like the Bengals found a lot more confidence on the offense in this second period. It started right out of the gates and it has continued throughout this period.
Number 5 has been so good in this game. Sandberg has been unbelievable, the junior. And again, I don't want to get to next year yet, but this definitely has a feeling of another goal. Why not? From the blue line, it's the Clemson rowing commit. Nowicki gets her second. Why not? 5-2, the Blue Bengals.
Wow, and like I said, the Bengals continuing to go full throttle in this second period. They aren't resting on their laurels just yet. Still a minute 22 remaining, and why not put another one in the back of the net?
I'm just starstruck because Brooke, she's been playing all year. You know, good player, okay? On my sheet, according to that Steve Geider gave me, third line defender. Again, varsity team, nothing to shake a stick at. She's 2 points on the year.
Yeah.
She's doubled that up in one game, and it's the section quarterfinals. Like, this is why the playoffs are amazing. That's why Bismack Biyombo had one good series for the Magic. He got 4 years, $80 million. It matters what you do right now. Nowicki, could you imagine a better game for her? I'm not sure you could. Unbelievable for the Blaine Bengals.
Yeah, you gotta love it for the senior.
The Rangers, though, drop it off. Can they score one? And it was another wide open net we saw, but they couldn't get it. Well, Blythe, I think our second period highlights are going to be about 13 minutes long. Might be as long as the third period. There's been so much happening. There's going to be a trip, too. Going down was a Rangers player. There you see her, Hannah Melander. She's already been to the penalty box, but I think she just lured the penalty there. And yes, it's going to be the Blaine penalty box that is open. It's waiting for its recipient, Macy Jansen. Take a little time out, have some gushers, no big deal. 49 seconds left here, 50 seconds, you know, same difference here in period number 2. That's going to be 2 minutes for Blaine. That penalty will then carry over into the third, which we saw coming into this period, and it didn't seem to do very much. So, just I don't know what word you want. Just an unbelievable second period, Blythe. Just so much has happened. Again, it was Blaine, and then it was Forest Lake, and then it was Blaine again, and then just, again, after what we saw in the first period, this second period absolutely has me speechless.
Yeah, I feel like an entire game went on in the second period.
Yes. So. There's Coach Richardson. Thought he was going to take a timeout there for a moment. He won't. Oh, coincidental. So pardon me. And that's really surprising to me because it was a pretty clear trip, I thought, behind the net. But nonetheless, it is 5-on-5 hockey, so it will not be a penalty for Blaine.
So it makes sense possibly what Coach Richardson is talking with the refs about.
That puck gets by Ron. 20 seconds left. Kendall Dean tries to cover it up in the corner. Hansen, pad save. In the corner again, Blaine just trying to kind of run out this period, it looks like. And with a horn, that will do it. 4 goals in period number 2 have propelled Blaine ahead. 5-2, Ellie Nowicki with 2 of them. Goals number 2 and 3 for her on the season. A remarkable period for her. We'll cover it all when we come back here on our coverage of playoff hockey here on North Metro TV. All smiles going into period number 3 for Blaine.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
The B of Blaine brings us back in after an amazing period number 2 if you're a Blaine Bengal fan. Not so much if you're a Forest Lake Ranger, but they also got on the board too. But Blaine saw themselves score 4 goals, and it started off with the freshman Knowles Blythe.
Yeah, just look at her making sure that she got up there, and another high shot up and in.
So after Knowles score, that got us with a 1-goal lead for Blaine, and they made it 2 with Nowicki.
Gotta like that, the senior celebrated by all of her teammates.
So that would be a 2-goal cushion, but as they say, 2-goal lead is not the best. Forest Lake would answer with the 5-hole goal from Ellie Hanowski. Hanowski is in the midst of a very good season, and that got the Forest Lake fans excited, but only a few minutes later, it was Blaine again, Blythe.
Yeah, just look at this, splitting the 2 defenders, the shot, but on the other side, her teammate there to put it in.
Cameron Sang had an assist earlier on Nowicki's goal. There she gets one, and again, 22 from the point. Shot from basically downtown Minneapolis, and it finds its way in the back of the net. A 4-goal period. Blythe, what stuck out to you about their offense?
Yeah, I think Blaine just came out right out of the gates, just proving that they wanted to win today. And I think for them, that's what they're gonna need coming into the 3rd. They need to come with that energy, that extra oomph to really put them ahead even more. But they've given themselves this amazing cushion to head into 3rd period in the quarterfinals.
It will be on the Minnesota State commit Haley Hansen to protect the 3-goal lead. Hang on for period number 3 as we near it here on North Metro TV. We can't wait to see you back here on our coverage of playoff hockey. It's the quarterfinals, and Blaine up ahead for now.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Quarterfinal hockey commences here in period number 3 with Steve Guiders Blaine Bengals manning a 5-2 lead over the visiting Forest Lake Rangers. Blythe, they got 3 goals to work with here. That's a lot of cushion. What does Blaine need to do to keep this lead alive?
I think they need to come out with just the same amount of oomph and energy that they did in that second period. I think that is going to be the name of the game. Some teams, they get up to this lead, and then they'll want to sit back and play defense. We know the Bengals are great at defense, but if they don't push in the offense, I think they're going to be taking too many shots on Haley Hansen, and you don't want that.
Blythe, I mean, I think that's a perfect point. And I think that's what we saw from really Blaine in the first period, is a little nervous, a little too much defense. I think they absolutely put gas pedal down there in period number 2, and we saw the result. So, yes, I think for them, don't change anything. What you've been doing has been working.
Continue that second period into this one.
Haley Hansen comes way out of her net to stop that one. Why not? 22 seconds in to period number 3. There you see her. Been pretty good. 34 minutes so far, 2 against her, but over 90%. You love to see it on the season. She's at 96%, 4 shutouts, no big deal. Played back around, first line for Blaine here. Brady, shot. Good back check by Blaine and Anderle. They'll dump it in and get a change. And again, that Anderle, Knowles, and Anderson line, Knowles does have a goal, and that puck up into the stands. Hope everyone's all right. They've done a really good job of just playing defense. And yes, they have a goal, but they have not let that top line of Forest Lake. Again, Jenna Ray Bateman, number 29. I'm still waiting to see what she has in store. She's had an amazing year. She's had an amazing career so far. I don't know if she has a shot on that today.
Yeah, and you think about it, they have 21 shots. They're still leading the shots on goal between them and the Bengals. But, of course, when your leading scorer isn't one of them, that's tough.
Again, the 2 goals for Forest Lake, according to their charts, coming via their third lines. Their third line defense, so Stanius, their third line forward group from Hanowski. So it's ironic. I teased, I'm like, really good top 6. Top 6 and top 4 haven't really done much for Forest Lake. It's been those lower rung players as far as the org chart's concerned that have gotten the job done. So is it going to be those top players in period number 3? Well, that would surely make an interesting story. Face off here with that third line of Forest Lake, maybe earning some minutes from Coach Richardson after their play so far here tonight. Played out in front, a really good A+ opportunity. If a stick could have found it, that wrister goes to the wayside. Centered. And you saw Maddie Anderle basically get WWE slammed to the ground there. And yeah, the penalty box is open. That is definitely going to be interference.
I mean, you talked about it earlier of just, I think the Rangers, they had to do that play. There was really nothing else they could do, 1v1 with their goaltender, and they chose to take this penalty.
Yep, good penalties. That's one of them. Aaron Brown will go away. 10 points on the season for Brown. 1 goal, 9 assists coming into tonight's game. And again, the scoring of Forest Lake was very present. You know, their top line of defense, 6 points and 10 points between them. You know, for a high school grouping, that's not bad. Second line defense, 10 points and 5 points as well. You don't see that typically. Ron, humongous shot from the point. Hits the goaltender Decker, but is deflected wide left. Out in front, another clapper, misses left side. Bengals still with it. Played up top, Sandberg with speed. Back to Ron, Ron centers. Wrister into the body of Decker.
Yeah, for the Bengals, how can they just use this power play to get up by even another one? You know, as far as you can continue to spread this difference in scoring, the more likely you're going to get out of this game and move on to that semifinal that you've been wanting all year.
I mean, you'll always take more goals. Absolutely. Why not You're not going to stop, that's for sure. Decker gloves that one. Decker getting a little tired back there. She's been put to work. But again, you look at the scoreboard, it's the efficiency play. 5 goals on 18 shots, only 2 on 22 for Forest Lake.
But I love that the Bengals, they're creeping up, almost getting close to that shot on goal numbers that the Rangers have had.
They had a big deficit after the first period. In the second, they certainly caught up. Ron saves an opportunity, and that could have been a tripping. Geider wanted it. Is he going to get it? He will. It looks like they won't, actually. They're just going to call an offsides. I thought we were going to see a penalty box open. It won't. And again, you're probably not going to get a 5-on-3 when you're up 3 goals in the third period of a section quarter. And there you see it. I mean, a pretty blatant trip, but, and again, I think they saw it. They're just, you know what? You're a referee. Discretion is not advised, I would argue, but sometimes they have some, and we're just going to have to live with it, folks. Again, I'm Alex Zapp alongside Blythe Whaley. So excited to have you guys along with us. It's been a tremendous game and a very exciting start to this third period. Couple penalties, couple shots, and a couple really good plays by both of these teams. Shot is deflected, hits the defense. Up ahead, the Rangers and the captain take control.
Sure, the Bengals talked about it coming into that third period. Just, again, to have that energy and that chutzpah to put these pucks in the back of the net. And we saw that. They opened this third period just like they finished that second.
Nowicki can't quite get it along the blue line. Hansen will come out, sprays it around. Nowicki has her back there. That left was left bare for a few moments. Shot from the point. Hansen directs it away. Forest Lake props it up ahead. No one there to answer. Big hit. Brady goes down. Stoppage. Offsides.
I think like in any game, when you get down by a few goals, if you're the Rangers trying to get back into this game, you're really just going to have to take it 1 goal at a time. How can you try to get just that little bit closer? And for them, we've seen those opportunities possible throughout this game. Especially we saw how lethal they could be even in that first period of just how dangerous they were putting those shots on Healy Hansen, getting that first one of the game. And now they're in somewhat of a slower portion of their game, but you know what they're capable of even throughout the season of the numbers they put up.
Nowicki will chase. Chinere Bateman on the ice, 29, giving chase right there. Again, she has been extremely quiet so far in this game. Look for her to maybe wake up. Off her skate, deflected away. Big hit from Brady along the boards there. A little bit incidental. Bengals controlling. On net, Singh tried to chase. Brady dumps it back behind. Thrown around the boards. Brady corralled, almost getting 3. Was Bateman, but Brady's stick and length coming through in that instance. To the point. D to D. Shot. Deflected. Nowicki skates it. Plays it off of her blade on the blocker. Backhand into the pad.
We've talked about gaining confidence throughout this game, and Nowicki taking that shot with some power on it. And you saw the confidence she's already built with these two in this second period.
Well, she kind of went coast to coast in that opportunity, too. She skated it a little bit as well. There's a wrister from Brady, deflects wide right. Played up ahead, along the boards will have a whistle. And a penalty, is it gonna be Singh? She will. So, looks like she'll have to do some karaoke from the sin bin, Blythe.
Now, what song does she do?
good ones on right now. They got the oldies here at Fogarty. Some arenas definitely skew kind of modern, a little of those Euro beats, but not Fogarty. They're giving you 70s, 80s rock all day long, and that's fine by me. We have a broad spectrum of music taste here on North Metro TV. I know Kenton's a really big Joni Mitchell fan.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think he knew either. Along the boards, Blaine trying to get control. The Rangers, though, will squeak out with it. Stenius. I shouldn't say the lone goal scorer, but the only goal scorer from the back line here tonight for Forest Lake. The Rangers turn it over. A chance. They find some space right side. Hayek. Again, there's a couple Hayeks, two sisters here. And they got some points, too. One plays defense. You just saw Samantha. She's the left wing for that second line here. Clapped ahead for Blaine as they, again, took a penalty about a minute ago from Cameron Singh. Just getting some fresh legs on the ice. Played up ahead. An amazing step up from Macy Jensen. That's why she's a captain. She almost scored as well, but the back check from Forest Lake just kind of stifled that opportunity, make it a little inaccurate. More sturdy play from the back line, that time Kendall Dean.
Something that can take note for the Rangers.
Wide right, a chance real close.
As I think oftentimes as you get closer to that crunch time, you start to feel the pressure as you get closer to the end of this game if you're the Rangers. And for them, they're really just going to want to stay calm. They know what they can do. They know that they can score. Big hit there in the middle of the ice.
I don't know if I've ever seen as many interference or boarding calls than I have in this game. And I'm serious. That's, I think, 6. You count coincidentals, too. Like, it's been unbelievable what we've seen from both of these teams as far as just, frankly, like, not giving regard for the rules. Like, you just can't do that in the women's game. Like, let's look at this hit. Just boom.
Bam.
You can't do that. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable that, like, you do it once and then coach, you're like, let's not, and again, you're down 3 goals. Yeah. You don't want to take a penalty. You were just on the power play. Coach Richardson has to be just, his team's got a little loose here in the third period. You got to keep them on edge.
And I think that's just when you start to get frustrated. You're trying to find a way to score, but also just nervous.
You're absolutely right. It's, you're angry. Down 3 goals, facing your season being over, you're 100% right. And that's why high school's so, it's so fun to watch because, from freshman year, maybe you do get senior, maybe you learn something. Maybe it's the inverse of that.
Yeah.
It's, these are young athletes and certainly not finished products by any means. I'm 28. I don't think I'm anywhere close. So hats off to these athletes that, put themselves on the line and do a remarkable job of doing so. That shot from Jansen gets into the glove of Decker. Again, still all smiles. Just having fun playing the game. You gotta love it.
And I think for her, being one of the seniors, that is kind of the mentality that you do need to have, especially because today could be anyone's last game. And so at least for her, she's living it up as much as she can out there on the ice.
100%. A senior, why not go out with a laugh? Under 9 minutes here, and that's a 5-minute major for Forest Lake. So this is a long power play that Blaine is going to be on. And here's the deal. I think we've seen worse hits in this game. I think that's the referee saying quit it, honestly. Because it's been unreal how much physicality and just, again, illegal physicality we have seen in this game. Ron, big shot misses right.
And I think it's tough. I'm pretty sure that it's a senior who has that penalty too. So you think about the time that they could have been out there on the ice here, and now that time is just you're having to sit and think about that.
Yeah, it's by the time this penalty is done, there's going to be about 4 minutes left in this game. It's with a goaltender like Haley Hansen, nearly impossible to come back. Now, if you have all that 5 minutes to work with, now again, you score one, now you're within 2. You know, you pull someone with 3 minutes left, maybe you score one early, and then all of a sudden it's 2.5 minutes, it's a 1-goal game. But you can't do any of that if you have a 5-minute major, and that's where they find themselves right now. Blaine comes out with it from the boards, out in front. Couldn't get a clean stick on it, was Anderson. Bach fighting in the corner. The kick save won't work for Kendall Dean that time, but Hansen's there to corral with her vapor stick. And something simple, Blythe, but I just think the passing for Blaine also has been so much improved. First period, it felt like every pass was dribbling off of someone's stick. Second and third period, they've been tape to tape almost every single time.
Yeah, I'm curious what that talk was between the first and second period that really changed the Bengals' mindset, mentality, and how much confidence they brought to the ice in the rest of this game.
It's, you know, we're about halfway through this penalty. Truth be told, this was a Forest Lake team that on paper I thought was just more scary. It looked like they had more points. They had more point scores. It looked like a team that battled injuries, and when they were healthy was really good. I mean, just better than a 5th seed in this section. And it is so telling what Blaine is doing in this game because, again, a team that beats Centennial, okay, and Andover's in this section too, but, you know, Andover doesn't have Haley Hansen. So, you know, you think about how this could unravel, and this could very well be Blaine's section. You put down a performance like this today against, again, a Forest Lake team that I think is much more of a 2 or 3 seed than they are a 5. This is an incredible performance so far from Blaine. It's not done yet, but it's been awfully good so far.
Yeah, and multiple players finding the back of the net, bringing that into the semifinals, how much that can do for the team's confidence, to be knowing that they're scoring from all angles.
Yeah, and again, Sandberg has a tally, Anderley not on the score sheet, but you know, good teams win in a multitude of ways, and you need a Nowicki to score 2 goals every once in a while. And why not score even more? Another captain gets on the board, Macy Jansen, not just her 9th of the season, and Blaine really, in my opinion, puts this game away at 6-2 now.
Yeah, especially still another minute, 39 seconds on the penalty that the Rangers are gonna have to play a player down, but the Bengals just really putting that nail in the coffin on this one.
There's he waiting for opportunity, number 24, Jansen. 17 points coming into this game. And look at her, she's looking at the Forest Lake fans. She's not looking at the Blaine Bengals. She's staring down those high school kids that have probably been chirping her all game long. A remarkable celebration from her, a great wrist shot. And again, the accuracy showing through. Blythe, you talked about, they had, I think, 16 shots coming into this period. Now they're up to 28, 6 goals coming from them.
Yeah, they finally took the lead in that category, and for them, we've seen it. A lot of plays happen down here. Of course, that penalty on the Rangers has helped that quite a bit.
Ron will get the assist. And Sandberg's going to notch an assist too. So Sandberg with yet another multi-point game this year.
Something too with Haley Hansen. I mean, she kind of had to sweat it a little bit after that first period, and for these last few, we've kind of get to see her take a back seat and let her team do what they've done on offense, and she's there when she's needed to pick up the pieces.
Big slap shot there from the back line. And Blythe, you are perfectly correct. This game was all Forest Lake, and after they scored that goal, the ice was extremely tilted in their direction, and it looked like they had this game under wraps. I mean, they had it under control. And then again, Blaine finds them at the end of the first period, and that's really all this team needed to get going into the second, where again, they scored 3 unanswered goals. Unbelievable. I should say it was 4. They scored 4 goals in that second period. That's just more than I'm used to in a game, potentially. Just one period. In the corner, bodies on the ground, but everyone's okay. To the point, and you mentioned it, Blythe, 5-minute major, that penalty does not come off the board with the goal for, but with a 3-2-1. That long sentence will conclude. And she's out of the box. She might have herself a breakaway. Spun around. What a job. Hannah Melander couldn't get an opportunity even off, and she had a one-on-one.
Yeah, massive defensive play there by the Bengals. Of course, it might not have changed a whole lot in the whole aspect of the game, but still, just that difference that the Rangers could have put one in here late on.
Sandberg had to let it loose or else she was going to get called for an offsides. In the corner, played out to center. Big slap check goes around the net, and Blaine will go for a change, as well as the Rangers.
And if you're the Rangers, you're just out there really trying to push even that little bit harder for the seniors, make sure that you're ending on a positive note, even though down by 4. How can you make these last couple minutes, last 3 minutes, memorable?
Well, it's a free-for-all at this point. It's, you know, why not get 8 goals? Who knows? And again, always an opportunity to get better as well. Pluck out to center, wrist shot. Deckard almost got by her, didn't really see it as it went through the defense. Her shoulder ended up saving it. Another shot, Decker with the pad save. The defense giving her some love. They know that they haven't necessarily had her back a bunch this game. She's fine with it though. She's all good.
I mean, if I was a senior goaltender, I think I'd rather have the action if it was a game that maybe we weren't going to move on to that next one. It's like, why not? I'll take it.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I never wanted to be a goaltender. That's too much pressure for me. I can't even imagine either of those scenarios for sure. We're going to have a stoppage very quickly after that stoppage. But, you know, my goodness, 4 points. Ever had a game like that? No. 1 goal, 3 apples. And again, I think the speed has led to all of them. It wreaks havoc. It creates opportunities for her. It creates opportunities for her defense. And I think with all those opportunities we saw her get early in the game, it set up opportunities for her teammates later on.
Yeah, and it's been so fun to watch her, and I can't even imagine what she's going to bring into next season. You hinted at it earlier of just, gosh, she still has another year for the Blaine Bengals to even add to how good she's already playing.
Ron is a senior, though, as is Anderle, so they'll definitely lose some depth. And there's Coach Richardson dialing up a play. They just got a power play. Blaine just took one, so again, a good job to have a timeout. He's coaching like it's a 1-goal game, right? And, you know, that's a good thing. And folks, guess what? Guess what's going to have some highlights from this game? Sports Den, new episodes Mondays at 10 p.m., and there's replays daily at 10, 2, and 6. How about that?
Yeah, we've had a lot of good highlights throughout the season on Sports Den, and I think when you have a game like this, 6 goals, just a plethora of goals just from this game alone.
And look at Sandberg singing along to Sweet Caroline. That's amazing. And guess what, Sandberg parents? You should get a Blu-ray and have this game forever because she had 4 points. You know what? Hard drives can get deleted. Like, oh, I'll get it online. Guess what? You have a physical copy. You have that forever. And also, follow our YouTube page. You got game summaries. You got highlights, games, all that jazz. North Metro TV has you covered for all, literally, your North Metro sports coverage. How about that? Blaine fans all smiles. Rangers fans, that's a long drive home in these snowy conditions here tonight. Played back around, and they can do that because they're on the penalty. 1:50 left in the penalty, 2:15 left in this quarter final tilt. Stoppage with the whistle. it's going to be another penalty, it looks like. You know what? Sandberg just wanted to give her teammates some company, I think. I think she's just getting a little bored out there, scoring a bunch of points.
That's exactly what you do, you know?
That's exactly what you do. And
Well,
again,
you said if there's gushers over there, I would be the player that's like, okay, I guess I need to get a penalty so I can go get some gushers.
ooh, I do like me some gushers. Fruit roll-up.
Oh, yeah, that would be good too. Oh, it's been
boy.
too long. It's been too long. Gotta go to the grocery store.
Some Mott's fruit snacks. No free ads, though.
Yeah.
And there you see a replay of Sandberg getting a little, and again, just so much physicality in this game. It's been very fun to watch. And Hansen standing on her head, literally and figuratively, saving that one. The puck's still alive. Where's the whistle? There wasn't one. And again, maybe he saw the puck wide open. From our vantage point, it looked like he should have blown it for a couple of seconds. That one hits the face mask of Hansen. Forest Lake making this Blaine team work for it till the very last second. Assistant coach will grab that puck. Hansen takes a moment to herself. I would too. That was pretty crazy. She's screaming something. Let's take another look at this, see if we can find the puck. And again, just a lot of kind of flustered teenagers there.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, of course, this Blaine Bengal team is looking like they're moving on to the semifinals, so definitely don't want anything to happen to her here in this last minute 30 or ever. But of course, to move on to the semifinals, they want her to be in peak condition, not bruised and banged up.
I definitely think you can basically stamp the ticket for an empty net goal. Yeah, baby. I missed who shot it. Was it Ron or Jansen? The fans love it, though. The student section saw it immediately, and it looks like it's going to be Jansen. So put Macy Jansen down for 2, and that gives her 10 goals on the season. Double digits for the senior defender. Unbelievable.
Got it like that. The accuracy from range gets it done.
I mean, that's hard to do. And that thing was just slow but steady. It got there, that's for sure. So, and again, on the penalty kill, technically speaking. I mean, 4 on 6 it was, or excuse me, 3 on, it was 3 on 6. And they score a goal. Pretty, you know, just that kind of night, I think, for Blaine. Right, Blythe? I mean, just, you know, after that first goal in Forest Lakes way, almost everything went Blaine's direction.
That's got to feel good on your home ice, having the game that you wanted to have today.
Late shot on goal. Hansen steers it away. 23 seconds left on the first power play. The second power play will take us to this game's end.
And we said Hansen got a break there for a good majority of this middle part of the game, and now having to put some good saves in again.
Well, again, a lot of penalties, a lot of forechecks, a lot of illegal checks, and we're going to end up with about 33 to 29 shots. So a lot of shots as well, a lot of action in this quarterfinal game. I thought this would be a low-scoring affair. It certainly wasn't. This offense for Blaine has absolutely woken up, and that bodes well for the rest of their playoff push here, Blythe.
Yeah, I hope they continue to use that heading into the semifinals, learn from what that first period was and the difference that it made in the second and third period when they switched that up. And so if they can do that in the semifinal, I think they have a good chance of moving on.
15 seconds left, and Blaine Bengals will survive in advance. Blown tire for Blaine. Someone went down. Ron almost got another one. And with 3 seconds left, why not have a stoppage? You love to see it. The Bengals fans are cheering something. I can't quite make it out. But they're letting Forest Lake know who won this game. And with a 3-2-1, that will just about do it. The Blaine Bengals will hound their junior goaltender, Haley Hansen, and the Blaine Bengals survive in advance. They will go on to the Final Four. An unbelievable performance. 7 goals scored, 6 of them coming in the last 2 periods. Blythe, when you think about this game, what are you going to remember? What stood out?
Like I said, the Bengals just having that momentum shift coming into the second period, really believing in themselves and just their will to win and get these shots in the back of the net.
Nowicki had 2, Jensen had 2, Sandberg had 1, Knowles had 1, Singh had 1. Almost everyone got on the score sheet for the Blaine Bengals. There you see the period goal breakdown. It was a tour de force performance for the Blaine Bengals. The number 4 seed will continue on for the section playoffs. And again, you got Andover up top, you got Centennial there too, but this is absolutely a statement win for Steve Geider's Blaine Bengals team. And Blythe, for me, I think this team could go as far as they think they can.
Yeah, a lot to be proud of, and definitely they know they have Haley Hansen the rest of the way, so a lot to feel good about going forward.
They got Haley Hansen, they got Shelby Sandberg, and they got a whole bunch of seniors and underclassmen that are ready to take the rest of this section on. The Blaine Bengals win 7-2, a dominant performance for Blythe Whaley and the rest of our crew. My name is Alex Zappa. North Metro TV playoff hockey coverage continues on, but for this Thursday evening, we will sign off. The Bengals of Blaine go home victorious, and their 2022 season continues on.